Does it feel like you're working with the intensity of a Formula One driver and the dedication of a doctor on call? Does it feel like you're not doing this for a few weekends here and there, but you're actually doing this year in, year out? That's exactly what happened to me until I burnt out. And burnout was a wake up call. It was my body basically saying, I'm no longer participating in your nonsense. And one thing I really learned about that experience that burnout is not necessarily a function of you doing too much or the amount you're doing. It's really a function of where your heart is at. Is your heart in alignment with what you're doing? How much joy is there in what you are bringing into the world? So if you're doing so much and you're not able to experience joy as you bring what you're supposed to be doing into the world, then that will create a lot of tension, a lot of stress, and you will burn out. One thing I realize as well is being in a feminine body, trying to be in that hustle, go, 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 24-hour, always on switch mode is definitely something that is keeping you small. It might seem odd because a part of me believed that if I stopped, everything would stop and that I wouldn't achieve as much as I wanted to. And this is why, after several years of trial and error, failing to achieve my goals, it finally dawned on me that the path was a three-way process. This came to me when I was interviewing this incredible woman called Sarah McCrum. And I asked her, what is the path to wealth and abundance? And she said, relax, enjoy, love. That was a huge breakthrough for me. And it was thanks to that that I have brought to the world Rekindle. Rekindle is basically a six-step process where you start with releasing. So many women want to start with their vision, and vision is great. However, if you are creating a vision from a space of an old identity where you're still bugged down with shame, blame, and guilt, then that vision is going to, the word is polluted by the old. So you really want to start with releasing the old, releasing the shame, the blame, the guilt, the old identities, the old limiting beliefs that are keeping you stuck at your current level. So your current level is, let me remind you, is the next level from where you used to be before. So let's be grateful for that. However, when you are ready to birth that new level, then it's going to feel like birth pains, and it's important to truly shift into it. But it's the first thing that you want to do is release the old identity so that you can step into the new identity. So releasing then goes into relaxing. Why is relaxation so important? If you keep going through the world constantly stressed, then you're literally vibrating physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually from a frequency of stress. A frequency of stress, a frequency of scarcity, a frequency of the absence of what you want instead of the presence of what you desire. And you don't get what you want, you get who you are. So when you are in that stress mode, you are basically signaling to the universe that you are not the woman who has what you want. You're signaling to the universe that you don't have what you want. And so relaxation is essential so you can literally open up in the expansion of your being so that you can receive that which you desire. Another mistake that many people make is this thinking that, oh, because I want it, it's going to be easy. Well, if it's really a next level goal, then at some level it's going to be uncomfortable. And what most people do is contract with the discomfort. What the people who really go through those phases do is relax and open up as you shift into your next level. This takes a certain level of faith, a certain level of believing even before you see. And so when you've learned to relax, when you've learned that rest is not a reward, it is literally your birthright, then you say, okay, I get to reconnect to who I truly am. That's one thing that many women really, really require support with. Because for many years, you've been functioning, doing what dad wants, what mom wants, what your boss wants, what your husband wants, what your children want, what the world wants. Many women are bending themselves into pretzels simply to please the world. And I get it. Nobody wants to be isolated and disconnected. Everybody wants to live in a beautiful, strong community where you are loved, you're cherished, and you're adored. However, people pleasing is definitely not the way. And so, reconnection is truly about finding that way back to your heartbeat, walking to the beat of your own heart, showing up in self sovereignty as well as connection and bridging, not having to say, oh, I'm either sovereign or I'm connected. You can be both. And from that space of true, deep reconnection and alignment with your own true desires and your true self, which is the medicine the world needs. The world doesn't need a copycat of anybody else or doesn't need the pretzeled up version of you. The world needs the fully magnified essence of your true being. That is what the world needs. And when you step into that and you now shift into, okay, what is my next level goal? What does that really look like without any limitations? When you stop going to the ocean with a little teaspoon, when you can truly have a pipeline, the ocean is so abundant, but it will only give you what you are ready to request and based on who you are ready to embody. And so re-envisioning is a beautiful phase where you now redesign what is possible for you, where you actually start receiving things that you thought, oh my goodness, I didn't even know this was a possibility until. And from re envisioning, you step into rejoicing. Because sometimes you have this vision, and then we lapse into, as high achievers, I will be happy when. I'll be happy when this vision comes into light. Rejoicing is about understanding that it is not the existence of the vision that creates joy, but the joy and gratitude that becomes the magnet that lets that vision come into your life even quicker, even easier, and even more abundantly. And when you master this, going through life with joy, no matter what is happening, you hold the vision in your heart. You're not looking into your external 3D reality to determine how you feel, but your inner reality is determining your outside 3D reality, even if it takes time. Now you can step into receiving. And this is a phase of its own. The phase of receiving is really basically understanding that receiving is not a weakness. Receiving doesn't make you feel vulnerable. Yes, you've been trained and conditioned to say, oh, as a good girl, you should be giving and giving and giving. But at some point, you start feeling resentful because you are giving all the time and you don't feel like you're receiving. And you think it's other people's fault. When the fact is, whenever they try to give you, you say, oh, no, thank you, or I've got this, or let me help you, because you feel uncomfortable. So you get to learn to really build your receiving muscle so that you're able to receive to the same extent that you already give. And when you are in that beautiful balance and harmony, just you watch the things that start coming into your life. My clients say this all the time. Oh, that person did this. Oh, that person gave me that gift. Oh, that person did this for me. And it was so incredibly supportive. And these are people they've been relating to with for so many years, but they are showing up differently in their lives because these women are literally now vibrating on the frequency of abundance, openness to receiving with ease and not resistance. When you truly are ready to release the shame, the blame, the guilt, relax and open up even through the expansion, reconnect to who you truly are, walking to the beat of your heart in full self sovereignty. You're re envisioning your life in a way that has no limitations. You're in pure possibility. And you begin to rejoice not as an after effect, but as cause. And then you learn to receive. You are now rekindled. This is where your phenomenal feminine is rekindled, where the world just seems like it is there to support you. And you step into joy, love, and freedom. If this is something that you know you are ready for at that next level life, then my invitation is to connect. I would love to see you grow without the burnout, have more, but with freedom, with joy, and of course, with lots of love. And if it wasn't clear already, one big thing you're going to experience is deep inner peace. Love and light.